Interesting how men of today think there's some sort of male decline, as if to suggest the average man over time was worth a damn. Most men always were useless cunts. Throughout the entirety of history, men were useless cunts, barring a handful. And it's not even whether you choose to be within that handful. You are born with a genetic predisposition to have the opportunity to be one of those men in that handful. And if you harness everything God given to you, you can be within that handful. But most people, genetically speaking, aren't provided with that opportunity. And most people that are provided with that opportunity waste it, i.e., on drugs and alcohol or some dumb bitch.
It's always some bitch.
You also have to recognize that most men, if they are a little above a half-wit, would not only agree with me, but agree with me and say, you're right, Daniel, but I don't care. I don't care about being this exceptional man. I quite frankly enjoy my hedonistic life with my mediocre family. My family are mediocre, objectively speaking. My wife, universally, to most men, is not attractive. My kids are in the median line at school. They go to a regular school. They're not smart. They're not dumb. They're not exceptional kids. I'm not an exceptional man in any way, shape, and form. There isn't one thing that I'm very good at that my community values. If I was to die tomorrow, the community would function just fine. There is nothing that I contribute to community, to the world at large, that will be missed. I'm a speck of dust over time, an absolute nobody. But guess what? Most nobodies don't care. And most exceptional men are troubled somewhat with a narcissistic personality, a drive that most normies cannot quite comprehend. They can't comprehend why these men would take on these risks, why they would risk their own life, their safety, imprisonment, all this stuff. As you often refer to, why so serious, bruh? Just chill. These men can't chill. Chilling is not on the agenda.
How can somebody combat being a narcissist?
I don't think you can combat it internally. You will probably always have these tendencies, but externally, provided you're aware that this makeup taken to the extreme can be pathogenic not only to the community but to yourself, then you can curtail your narcissistic tendencies by being aware of when you are being too narcissistic. Notice the use of language there, to the extreme and too narcissistic, suggestive of the fact that a little bit of narcissism is likely prerequisite in success. I know many such men who are narcissistic as fuck, but successful. Remember, these personality traits exist on a spectrum. Hitler is a perfect example of a clever man. A man that, honestly, if he just curtailed his extremism a wincy bit, he would have been a good leader. But the gibberish that was in his mind with regards to Jews, which just didn't make sense, was ultimately, I think, what led to his downfall. His greed just got the better of him. He was doing well at a certain point. To take Germany away from effectively being a cucked nation to the rest of Europe and to the USA, he got them to a position of strength and he just went way too far.
It was also on meth.
Oh, was he? He was a meth user.
Well, I mean, not like a crack pipe like we see in Australia, but yeah, he was getting it injected by his personal doctor.
Same thing. I mean, at the
Yeah.
time, a lot of those amphetamines and narcotics in general were being experimented throughout the German army. A lot of medical experiments. There was no negative impact to one's reputation to be a functional heroin addict or a functional meth addict. It was seen as the use of technology, the use of modern medicine. It didn't really matter. If it worked, it worked. It was rather pragmatic in that sense.
Google says stopping narcissistic behavior requires long-term commitment to self-reflection, and empathy development.
You hear those words? You see what's wrong with the West. Thankfully, shout out to this guy. I believe his name is Elijah Long, just a random guy on X who I had seen pop up on my algorithm before he even had 10K followers. He invented the term retard maxing, and then it was later popularized by one of the A16Z founders. I believe it was Mark Andresen. I can never pronounce his surname. But then it went somewhat viral. It was on the All In podcast. And I 100% agree with these men. This constant repetitive message within Western psychiatry that you need to constantly reflect and to constantly be introspective and to constantly focus on your feelings. This very behavior that men think they need to undertake is actually what's making them worse. They are more miserable as a result because innately, naturally, they are born a certain way. They are born to conquer. They are born to not care as much about individuals. You don't have to care about people. You don't. You don't have to care about people as long as you don't harm people. You are not necessarily a net negative for society. In fact, your pragmatism could be useful in society. As we know, suicidal empathy is the extreme version whereby feminists or men that act like feminists are empathetic to fucking everyone to the point where they're empathetic to their adversary, and their adversary either takes over society or kills them because of their empathy. It's like going up to a terrorist and saying, "Are you okay?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm fine." Boom, and shoots you in the face. Because your empathy, your generosity, your care towards him has not changed his goal. His goal of jihad, you being a non-believer, and in his radical eyes, you must die. It's very simple.
Elijah Long is not black, is he?
He looks to be American, Latin American, something along those lines, but I believe he's American.
So you're referring to this guy here, are you?
No.
This guy?
No. Nope.
No.
No, that guy's pretty black.
Pretty black.
Some white
All
kid's
right.
like, "What, blacks aren't Americans?"